Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the FightersRep podcast, episode 81. I'm your host. You could just call me Mr. Right from now on after another fantastic prediction along with my co-host, the very esteemed Mr. Ignat Behavior. Gary, how are you doing on this lovely Monday evening, sir?
I'm good. You?
I'm good, man. It's a little chilly over here, but I'm hearing that, South Florida is a little bit chilly as well, man. What's going on down there?
Man, I got on short sleeve shirts. I got on shorts. So I don't know what chili you talking about.
What's the weather? Is it warm?
I mean, it's regular weather. I mean, it's not. I wore shorts all day and the short sleeves all day.
Oh, okay.
It had to be, I don't know what I want to say, maybe 70?
Okay. So
70-ish?
It's good. No, because I looked at Orlando, I think it was today, and it was like 60 degrees, and I was like, damn, it's kind of chilly down in South Florida.
I mean, we had a day. We had we had to wear long sleeves and you born and raised down here. You already know how it goes. You get a day or two, or maybe a week. Then it goes away, then it comes back. But
Where you break out the sweater. It's just one sweater, the sweater.
How cold is it over there?
It's 59, 60 right now.
Yeah, that's good weather. Ain't bad. Yeah, the rest of the country, not so much. But
I can't live it. It's either South Florida or Southern California for me, big dog. I can't handle nothing else, bro.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're here today on the podcast, Gary, to talk about Raymond Muratalla, who surprised a lot of people, Gary, including the odds makers in Las Vegas, including boxing pundits, including boxers and experts. But I'm just being right all the time like this I'm starting to get a little bit worried. I don't know if there's some sort of supernatural thing going on in this jewel right here and this one. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to touch on Teofimo, Shakur. I know we talked about it last week a little bit, but it's fight week, Gary. It's fight week. And I did want to ask you before we get started. I was Team Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waffling a little bit. I want to share with you why I'm like a little bit waffling on my pick. You know what I mean? I'm a little hesitant. Have you found yourself even slightly waffling on that pick, or you're solid with Shakur? You think for sure he's going to get the job done?
I think for sure he's going to get the job done.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I was waiting for you to finish playing with yourself about the Mr. Right and everything. I was just waiting for you. You were getting off pretty good. I was just don't do it on my face, man.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, the podcast has started full Diddy. Apparently, we went full Diddy on the podcast.
Hey, look, just you need to go with Shakur if you want to keep that name.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, maybe you're right. But before we get into that, Gary, did you get a chance to watch Raymond Muratalla versus Andy Cruz?
Yes, sir. I did see it. Hell of a fight. I liked it. It was a good fight.
Great fight. Give me your thoughts on the fight. If you agreed with the score, what you saw. Just give me your breakdown of the fight.
I thought that 118 card was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous. I thought the right person won it. Okay. I thought Cruz is. I think this is where it's the difference between amateur and pro.
My man, you seen it too. You do it too.
My thing is that I thought he probably edged, the cleaner punches. When he decided to go fire off, when he decided to fire off, he was landing cleaner. But I thought Muratalla jab was a problem. It bothered him some. It landed. It was landing. He had pretty good defense, but it's Muratalla also the body shots, the body work that he did against the ropes. He was getting a lot of body work. Those counts. And when you're not being active and you're just laying on the ropes sometimes, letting him pound away at your body, that counts. Or pound at your body and then hit you up top. And I mean, I thought it was a learning lesson for Cruz. I mean, I don't see nothing about no 118 like it was not a close fight. That was a competitive close fight. And when you part of it is when you're in a competitive close fight, when you have certain rounds that can go either way, they're gonna give it to the guy that's more of the aggressor, a little bit more active, even though at times you get in the center ring, you in the center ring, you're firing off, you're landing what you want to land, but it just wasn't enough in some rounds. And I think in later rounds he kind of faded a little bit more with the activity also. So I mean, it's one loss. I mean, he had a chance to bounce back, but what he had only like 6.
That was his 7th fight. He was 6-0, and that was just his 7th fight.
And I'll give you an example. Like Keyshawn had a. I'm bringing up Keyshawn because obviously he's celebrating that he lost. I'm bringing up Keyshawn, but it was similar to Keyshawn. I forgot.
You saw the belt to ass celebration that he did in the lobby. So stupid. Oh
hey,
my God.
But Devin Haney had something to say about that. We'll talk about that later. But I mean, it's dang, I just lost the track of thought.
Keyshawn, you were telling me Keyshawn.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn. Like it was one fight Keyshawn had, and I think he learned something. And I can't think of the guy's name. You're good at this. You'll remember his name, but where they were like going at it with where he picked Keyshawn up. Keyshawn was hitting him with shots, man, and the guy just kept coming. And it looked. Then he started hitting Keyshawn like he affected Keyshawn some. It went the distance. It was right before the fight where the guy came in overweight. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know. Maybe you can remember.
It was on the card on Saturday night.
No. I'm talking about Keyshawn Davis when he fought earlier in his like a few fights, maybe 3 fights earlier, 3-4 fights earlier. It was a tough fight for him. But unlike Cruz, he survived it. He won it, and I think he learned. And the next few fights, he kind of went through people after that. But that fight was a war. He found a guy that was tough, coming forward and aggressive and rugged. Even though I think Muratalla was more of a skilled boxer than that. He had a longer reach because that's what it looked like, right?
I thought Muratalla. I mean, they have them listed about the same size, but I said it in prediction. I thought Muratalla was bigger, bro. He looked bigger to me.
He looked bigger, yeah. So I thought that kind of affected Cruz a little bit too, because it was, the pressure, the size. Like you said, they had him listed at around the same, but when I was looking at the ring, I'm like, wow, he looks bigger than Cruz. He looks bigger. Even the reach, like I said, his reach looked longer than Cruz, and that I think that also affected Cruz when he, that jab. So I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. No, I was, I made the prediction, Gary, based on, my experience as a promoter. Same thing with Dalton Smith and Matias. I did a reaction video yesterday about this Muratalla fight. Of course, I did the Fight Companion live during the fight, but I did a reaction video afterwards, and I said, I picked Smith to beat Matias for the same reason I picked, or based on the same thing that I picked Muratalla to beat Cruz. And that's my experience as a promoter. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Smith was like 28 years old versus Matias 36, Gary, and how many times you're going to walk forward and use your face as defense? It's a young man's sport, you know what I mean? Especially against a big puncher who can fight. That's why I thought Smith. Then with this situation, I said to myself, and Gary, you were there with me, you were there ringside multiple times at these FightersRep events. I would tell you about all this stuff. We would discuss it. Amateur fighting, which is what the Olympics is, it's not the same as a pro fight. It's a different sport, Gary. It's you touch me, and it's whoever touches the next guy more without getting touched back, right? It's almost like a game of tag. You don't have to knock anyone out. They don't care how hard the punches are landing, really. It's a points game.
Yeah.
And so I said, based on, it was multiple things. Muratalla had 23 pro fights, bro. 23 pro fights versus a guy with 6.
Yeah.
I don't care what you've done in the amateurs. You're a gold medalist. You're this and that. He was all of that, Gary. But it's a different sport. It's like me playing pickleball and saying, okay, I'm gonna play Serena Williams now in a game of tennis. You know what I mean? It's different. It's different. And so I felt, first off, Andy Cruz is going into this guy's territory, right? It's 6 versus 23. I don't care what you did in the amateurs. It's going to help you, but it's not the same sport. Moreover, besides having way more pro experience, Muratalla was bigger. It looked to me like he was bigger, right?
Yeah.
Bigger, strong, fast. And then I saw the way he fought, Gary. I watched a couple of Muratalla's fights, He fights off the back hip. He fights correctly. He fights the way, at least in my opinion, it's correct. He fights in a way that allows him to use his range. Robert Garcia knows what he's doing. Not to say Bozianis doesn't, but Bozianis didn't have enough time, in my opinion, to convert this kid from an amateur fighter to a pro fighter that can beat a Raymond Muratalla, who, in my opinion, was underrated, Gary, because this guy's from the same camp as Jesse Bam Rodriguez. This guy is being trained by Robert Garcia. This guy has a similar style. I see his footwork. I see his positioning. He's composed. He's got a deep bag, like they say. He can throw uppercuts and hooks and jabs. And what you were seeing from Andy, Gary, and tell me you didn't see this from Andy Cruz, a lot of 1s and 2s, bro. It's a lot of pity-pat 1s and 2s while Muratalla is doubling up the hook and throwing uppercuts and going to the body and going to the head. Like, it was a more developed, seasoned pro. And I felt like, this is confusing for people. And I definitely want to know what you think about this, right? This is confusing for people. But a lot of people felt Cruz's skill was going to be too much for Muratalla. And I didn't, because, again, it's a different sport, Gary. You've been in there with me with these amateur kickboxers, and you've seen me do pro kickboxers. It's a different sport. So for me, I came away feeling that Muratalla was actually more skilled as a pro boxer. You know what I mean? Maybe if they were to go into amateur territory, Andy Cruz would touch him a little bit more potentially and win on points. But we're talking about pro boxing where the judges care about not just volume, they care about the significance of the strike. They care about the effectiveness of the punch. And so for me, I felt Muratalla was actually not just bigger, but I kind of thought he was the better fighter on the night, if I'm being honest. He had a deeper bag. He had more arsenal. I don't know. I thought it was close. I thought it was super close. I had it.
I think I just want to push back a little bit on the skill
Tell
part.
me what you think. I want it.
I think, this is just my thoughts as I watch boxing and I look at amateur boxing.
And by the way, shout out to everyone in the chat. Boxing Wiz, appreciate you being in here. Daryl Washington, appreciate you being in here, guys. We are going to read your comments, and we are, we're an open forum for discussion here. So if you haven't already subscribed, join the channel, help us continue to grow. Me and Ignorant Behavior, we go live every Monday at 7 p.m. So come get your swirl along with us, and we talk boxing, big dogs.
Here's my takeaway
push back.
So here's my takeaway from certain things. And I mean, I don't know what you want to call skill and what's exactly a person's definition of skill. But far as me, I think amateur boxing is more about skill to me. Just doing things correct way, moving, hitting, not getting hit. Because like you said, amateur boxers, how many times I touch this person versus them touching me.
Right.
How significant the strike is not always important. It's most like, can you touch? Almost like I want to compare it to point style karate.
It's point
you know
fighting.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's point fighting.
Yeah. And if you see those people get into MMA, like striking, they're amazing. They're skilled at striking.
Right.
But when somebody muddies the water and you can't just sit back and hit your shot and strike and everything. And so I think that's a difference when you come in from an amateur to you go into pro, where they actually try to knock you out. Right. And they're actually getting physical with you. It's not where they're leaning on you, where they're pushing on you. You're getting a forearm in the neck, and people are sitting on punches because I'm a fan of Boots and Bozy. Yeah. And I heard him speak on it, and he was saying the main thing that he had to try to get the Cruz is sitting down on shots more instead of like stick and moving so much. Sit down on some,
which makes sense because that's the difference with the pro game versus the amateur game.
And it's sitting on shots more. And I even heard a commentator say, if Cruz is going to give you a reason to back off, and the only way you give somebody a reason to back off is start sitting on some shots. And if it's just pity pat, God's gonna say, forget all that. I'm gonna come forward still, and I'm gonna beat you up against the ropes and see if you can keep taking this all fight long. And I thought Cruz took it pretty good, but I just thought he took too much of it. And at some point, and at times he did fight in the pocket, just wasn't enough of fighting in the pocket or really sitting down and making a stand and backing him up some. Kind of like, I mean, if we look at what's his name, Lamont Roach against Cruz.
Yeah.
I felt Lamont Roach figured in his head, and that's over time learning and just going through a bunch of fights. And Lamont Roach was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. That wasn't the game plan, but I'm gonna sit down in front of him a little bit and show him I'm willing to stand and punish him back like he's punishing me. And some people thought it was a good idea, some people thought it was bad, but I thought it worked out okay. But he backed Pitbull up some, and that's what Andy Cruz is gonna have to do. That's what I seen when Keyshawn got in deep waters with a guy who was not going. He had to bite down, and you had to sit there and actually turn it into a fight. And it's like, even I heard Errol Spence one time. I know I'm going a little long, but when he fought Sean Porter, and they were like, he fought Sean Porter, and they were like, and the corner was telling him something. The Errol Spence said, I knew, this is a dog fight right here. I'm not doing this. No, we're gonna go at it. It's gonna be a war. Let's go. That's what you want. And sometimes, and like I said, that's the difference between pro and amateur. Sometimes it's gonna be a bite down fight. You got to go to war now because this guy ain't backing down. It's not so much about skill. It's about I mean, it's skill, but
it's a skill, right? That's what I'm saying. It's sitting on the punch, Gary, turning the punch over. I mean, this is stuff, when I think of this stuff, I think of Kronk Boxing Gym, right? What did Sugar Hill, I said Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace. What did Sugar Hill teach Tyson Fury going into that second Deontay Wilder fight? He changed him. He said, no, you got to sit down on that punch. You got to turn that punch over. That's what wins the day in the pro game. Those are skills, Gary, right? So,
well, I mean, did you consider Deontay Wilder punch power a skill? Or was that's what
no. So power, I think, you could develop it a little bit, but I think power is kind of like speed. It's kind of like God-given, right? You either have it or you don't, right? But the style is what I'm saying, right? Like, Tyson Fury's style changed. Like, he was more of a boxer and backing up and moving around and herky-jerky in that first Wilder fight. That second Wilder fight was different, Gary. He just walked forward and was really aggressive and was really trying to drive those shots home, and I think that was the difference here. I think just being a veteran of 23 fights, Ray Muratalla just had those pro skills, Gary. Like, he'd been through the amateur ranks. He's done a lot of that stuff Andy Cruz has done. Maybe not on the same level, but it doesn't matter anymore. You see what I'm saying? Because you guys are never going back to that. When I look at it, I look at
footwork, and he has great footwork. Defense, he has great defense.
Yeah.
You know, offense, I think he has great off. I won't say great. I think good, because I think he's getting to the level of the inside fighting a little bit more. I feel like all the greats can do outside, inside. And when you say Muratalla has more skills, he didn't show me a boxer. He showed me one thing the whole fight, and it was just, and he showed me the same. He fought basically the same fight most of the fight, and just Cruz never could, adapt to it enough to, or to do the things that he needed to do.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like Muratalla showed me like all these wealth of skills. He showed you the skills that he had, and can you handle the skills that I had? And sometimes when they say, wait, give me one second. Sometimes they say styles make fights, right?
Yeah.
So you see, like with the other Cruz, Pitbull.
Yeah.
Pitbull Cruz, right? He's relentless. And some dudes understand how to handle that. And some dudes can't. It's not that he changes his style a whole lot when Pitbull is one way, and you know it. And you have to be a great boxer to handle what he brings.
But Raymond
more times, not that he's a better. I think he has more skills than that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Not saying that Pitbull don't have skills. Let me just. But I'm just saying, if you ask me who had the better footwork, I'm gonna go Cruz. Like everybody. Oh yeah, Cruz. I think Cruz. Who do you think has the better defense? I think everybody's gonna go. I think Cruz has the better defense.
I don't know.
I mean, for me, a lot of those shots didn't hit.
The point is it was close, right?
It's okay. So let's say defense. You want to say close? I disagree. I think he has Cruz has better defense. Now, I will say I was impressed by Muratalla. I brung it up earlier. His jab, and like you said, he was throwing hooks and his body work. He knew
his arsenal was much better, Gary. I thought his arsenal was much better, right? I felt like Cruz really relied on a 1-2 over and over again.
I get what you're saying. I agree with that, but I also feel like it wasn't that. It was that Muratalla had so much more going with his repertoire and punches and things like that. I felt like he stayed more aggressive, more active, keeping Cruz on the back foot, where Cruz was against the ropes, and Cruz would, to me, sometimes stay on the ropes a little longer than he should have.
Yeah,
and he knew he would cut out the ring, which is a skill. That's a skill to cut out the ring.
It is,
and so I just felt like he just stayed more active. Cruz was picking his spots too much. Pick, then relax. Let you do your work and do your work. But that work is that work is getting the judge's eyes. That work is landing shots on your body. Some on the face, the uppercut he hit him with. The jab he hit him with. You're letting him do work. Even though not all of it was hitting clean, it's still, the judge is going to score that.
Better than nothing. It's better than nothing.
And the thing is at some point he had to stop just picking when he fighting in spurts. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
He kept fighting in spurts where Muratalla never took a break.
Right.
Not in a Pitbull Cruz style, not like that, but he was the more aggressive. He just kept being aggressive, letting his hands go more.
For sure. So I want to read some of the comments before we continue. By the way, guys, welcome to the Fighters Rep, where you get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God about the sport of boxing, from the mind of an attorney/promoter and his crazy friend that he grew up with down in Miami, ignorant behavior. And Boxing Wiz says, thoughts on Keyshawn versus Ortiz and Adames, I think is who he's talking about, versus Ammo Williams. We'll get to that in a bit. He says, like the stream when you come in, y'all. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Daryl Washington says, I see Stevenson moving forward to walking down Lopez. When Teofimo Lopez moved right to left, Shakur going to pick Lopez off with strategic punches. And then Miles Sadiq says the fight has to go exactly how Shakur want to fight for it to be 50-50. And Lopez is the boxer that can do the unpredictable, Gary. So before we get to all this stuff, though, Gary, is there anything else you wanted to say about the Muratalla fight? Because I mean, look, I thought it was super close. I thought, but I'm like you. I thought the right guy won. I thought Muratalla pulled it away in the last 2 rounds, especially because he's more seasoned in the pro game.
Yeah.
I thought the skills were close. I just thought Muratalla was a touch better because he's got 23 pro fights. So in the pro game, I think he's very skilled from what I've seen. I think his
Yeah, no,
time.
I think he's skilled.
Let me tell you, I think his timing is
sure.
good. I think his timing is good. I think he throws good punches, good shot selection. I think he's got good feet. I think he's got pretty good defense too. I think he's very, like, I compared it the other day to the 5 tools of baseball. I was comparing it. I was saying, like, accuracy, power, speed, IQ. You know what I mean? And I forgot the other one, but I felt like he has all of that. He's above average in all of that. He's got accuracy, he's got speed, he's got IQ, he's got some power, and he's durable. He's durable too. Like, it didn't look like he was ever hurt in there. He's a big, strong guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much else to say on it. I mean, we seen the Matrix lose early in his career.
Lomachenko, was it?
Lomachenko, yeah. We seen Lomachenko lose after having a stellar amateur career, come and lose, and he gets it back. You get back and you get back in there, and you get some wins. And then Muratalla, now you just elevated your name. So it's gonna be more fights coming that way, and I would love to see the fight again, even if it's not right away, but at some point again.
No, it's great fight, and shout out to Andy Cruz for taking that fight so soon in his career. I mean, he put up a hell of a performance. I think as Bozy has more time with him to convert him into a full-time pro, because Gary, I think the fight was lost because of those amateur tendencies. That's my opinion. That's what I saw. And that's why I picked Muratalla. I just didn't think he could get rid of those amateur tendencies fast enough this early with just 6 fights under his belt to fight a 23-fight veteran like Muratalla. Muratalla, Gary, after the fight, said he wanted, and this is a great segue from Mr. Wright, because I predicted this fight right as well. But it is a great segue for Teofimo versus Shakur, because he says he wants the winner. Now, I want to ask you, do you think by asking for that winner, he's biting off more than he could chew? Or do you think that, he's deserved a fight against the winner that he can potentially beat, or give a good fight to the winner of whoever wins between Shakur and Teofimo?
No, I definitely think he deserves it.
Yeah.
Do I think he beats both of them? I mean, I don't think he beats Shakur, because those type of tactics, Shakur is more seasoned and Shakur is more elite. Not saying, and that's not Andy Cruz. I like Andy Cruz. I think he has a good future. He just, this is a learning lesson. He'll learn from it. I think he's still going to be a really good pro.
Yeah.
I don't know how good, if he's going to go to elite or not, but he's going to be good. He's going to be good. But Shakur Stevenson is elite, and so he has the experience that Muratalla has, and he has the, how do you say his name? But he has even better defense than Andy Cruz, and the footwork to move around the ring even better. You know what I mean? And so he knows how to. He has better defense in the pocket. He just has
offense too. Better offense too, I think.
It depends on what type of fight you're getting. And see, this is my thing is that styles make fights, like we were saying on the earlier fight. So you have to have a guy, and I've said this many times on the channel. Yeah. You have to have a guy that's gonna make Shakur throw his hands. You know what I mean? That's gonna actually come forward. And if you have a guy that's coming forward on Shakur, as we've seen in the Patty fight, and we've seen in the Zapata fight, and we've seen in his earlier fights against Herring and stuff like that. If you have a guy that's gonna throw his hands, then Shakur's gonna let his hands go, and he's gonna counter you, and he's gonna punish you. And I think he's going to, I said it before, I don't really think it's going to be a great fight, a great exciting fight between Teo and Stevenson, only because I feel like Teo's going to get discouraged after a while that he can't really land. And that's what happens to a lot of people with Shakur. They get frustrated because they can't really land on him how they want to land on him. I understand that T.O. is a better, I guess he's a better athlete. He's a slightly better athlete than, because Shakur, he's athletic too. Yeah. But I would say T.O. probably edge him out on the athleticism. But I just don't see it in I guess because we also brought up Keyshawn fighting Ortiz. Yeah. Like I seen Ortiz fight Teofimo Lopez and frustrate him, give him problems, aggravate him to where people were like booing, and to people were like, yo, he got to do better than that. This guy is a bad performance because there's certain styles that give him a little trouble.
I think Keyshawn is going to destroy Jermaine Ortiz.
Yeah, I think he's knocking him out. Okay. I think he's knocking him out.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between Keyshawn and Tio. I think this type of fighter for Keyshawn's knocking him out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think with Tio, because he's kind of a counter puncher too. He can be aggressive when he wants, but that's not really. He wants to counter punch also. So I just don't think it's going to be as exciting as people want. If you're a purist, it's going to be a great mind game, a battle. You like it, chess. I'm the type of guy that likes defensive games in the NFL when nobody else does. I want to see like the mind games, but that's not everybody.
What did you think? Well, did you think the Muratalla Cruz fight was exciting?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. Yeah, I thought it was a great fight.
I thought it was a really good, high-level, action-packed, like chess match.
But it was still a chess.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say, right? Because I've been waffling on this pick bad, right? And the reason I'm going to give you a couple reasons, Gary. I'm not going to give a prediction yet. I want to save that maybe for like tomorrow, the day after. I'll drop a video on that, or maybe you want to make your prediction because I'm still waffling on it a little bit. But I was Shakur. That was my initial prediction because we always go with the guy with the technique, right? Muratalla, shows you that the pro game matters. Punching, big punchers, bigger guys, power, stuff like that matters. There's a lot of intangibles that go into this. I think Teofimo, the problem with Teofimo, the reason I was going with Shakur, right? One of the pluses for Shakur is Teofimo's consistency, bro. I think Teofimo's consistency is not Shakur Stevenson's consistency. Sorry, I think Shakur always comes out. He's the same guy. He's very disciplined. He's very sharp. He's very solid. But he's a 135er, Gary. He's coming up to 140 to fight Teo, who's already comfortable there, Gary. I believe Teofimo Lopez, skills-wise, can come close to Shakur, even if you don't think he's exactly as good, and I'm sure there'll be differing opinions on that. I think at the very least he comes close. And I do think he has more power. I do think, as you mentioned, he has more athleticism. And I do think that if he steps on the gas, which I saw him do, you see, this is what kind of gives me pause about this fight. I saw him do that against Barbosa in the last fight. I saw him step on the gas and move forward. And I thought Teo was going to lose that fight. I picked Barbosa, right? Mm-hmm. Because Barbosa is a hell of a boxer. I saw him go out there, beat Jack Catterall in the UK, a guy who gave, what was his name?
Who did he fight?
The Scottish dude. Anyway, he gave that.
No, the one that beat the one that just beat
the one that Teofimo beat. I forget his name. I don't know what's going on under this Fez right now. But anyway, I saw him beat Barbosa. And the way he fought Barbosa, man, he looked so sharp. He looked so aggressive. He looked nothing, Gary, like the Teofimo Lopez we saw against Claggett or against Ortiz. Like, he looked like a totally different guy. And just
different boxers.
Well, but just how he's like a little bit scatterbrained and you don't know what you're going to get with him mentally. I feel like you don't know what you're going to get with him physically. And if he shows up at his best,
Mhm.
he's a very dangerous guy. He's a very dangerous guy. So that's why I'm a little bit Josh Taylor. I think it was Josh Taylor is the guy's name, right? The guy that had Unified 140. Barbosa.
Yeah, but you talking about when Teo fought Josh Taylor?
Teo fought Josh Taylor, but what I'm saying is Barbosa beat Catterall, who pretty much had beat, Josh Taylor.
Yeah, Josh Taylor, yeah.
So Barbosa for me is he's a pretty high level boxer. He's very underrated. And I thought he was going to give Teo a run and maybe even beat him. And Teofimo just looked like spectacular in that fight. Mm-hmm. And so the resume, Gary, he's bigger.
Yeah. The
resume's better. He's fought Lomachenko. He's fought Barbosa. He's fought Josh Taylor. He's fought Richard Calmy. It's just bigger names than Shakur's fought. Shakur hasn't really fought that many big names. You know what I mean? Who's Shakur fought that you would say, wow.
Everybody who was in his division that he had to fight. And then he moved up to 135 to fight everybody else. Because see, to me, this is my thing.
I hear you, but who is available is not the same as the guys.
Yeah, I get you, but what I'm saying is a lot of fighters come from different weights that don't have as big as name as the higher weights. When you come from the lower weights, you know what I mean? When you take when you go ahead and take a Ben Rodriguez, you wouldn't really say it unless you really follow those lower weights. You wouldn't really say like, he fought a list of names that Teo fought. You wouldn't say that. Because at the lower weights, it always happens. Even when Terrence Crawford was beating Ngannou, and nobody, I think I said his name right, when he hit him with the body shot and everything, nobody really gave him like, oh, that's a big name. They say he didn't fight anybody. When he fought Gamboa and he beat Gamboa, they say he still told him he didn't fight anybody.
No, I thought that was good. I thought those were good wins.
I'm just saying, when he went to fight Errol Spence, what was the main thing? You haven't fought anybody.
Okay, but Gary.
When you go from the lower lanes up to those names aren't as. But anyways, besides that, you can tell a skill fighter. You can tell how good a fighter is, and everything. Like he said, everybody told him about Herring wasn't nobody, but Herring beat Lamont Roach, who beat Tank. So it's not like the guy was a buster or nobody.
No, he was.
You know what I mean? Lamont didn't beat Tank. Let me take that back. He had a draw with Tank, but most people thought he won, right? So I'm just saying that he's in the camp. He has Floyd Mayweather. He has Bud Crawford. He has Clarissa Shields. He has even Keyshawn to bounce things off, because Keyshawn's a great fighter. He's in there. He's been in the ring with a Tank. He's been in the ring with these guys.
Yeah, but Gary, hear me out. Gary, but hear me out. Last 5 opponents for Shakur. William Cepeda, which I think is the best one.
Yeah.
Probably the best one by a significant margin. Before that, Josh Padley, a guy that went in there last.
And you know what happened with that, because he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight someone else.
Before that, Artem Harat Union, Edwin De Los Santos. Before that, and he did not look good in that De Los Santos fight.
He won.
I know, and then Shuichiro Yoshino before that. Now, he did fight Robson Conceição and Oscar Valdez.
Valdez beat the crap out of.
Right, and Jamel Herring before that. And those are respectable opponents. But Teofimo's last few fights, Arnold Barbosa, very good fighter.
Yeah.
Steve Claggett and Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz is, he's fighting Keyshawn, and some people see him as a decent fighter, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But Josh Taylor,
decent fighter, he's nobody to write home about.
But Josh Taylor was a unified 140-pound, real. I don't know if he was old by then, but Josh Taylor.
I was gonna go there.
Josh Taylor in his prime though was a beast, bro. Sandor Martin. He lost to George Kambosos, which was a weird one-off, I think. But before that. Before that, he beat Lomachenko. He beat Calmy. Those are
I hear you, but call me. What has Kami done?
Kami was a good fighter, bro. He was a
I'm
good
not saying he
fighter
was a
back then.
bad fighter, but I'm just saying if we're gonna say like something to write home about, nobody's writing home about
Yeah, but
Kami.
who's but what about Shakur's, like, even Herring when he
I'm not
fought
saying
Herring was
I'm not
old.
saying Shakur had a bunch of big names either.
Right.
I'm just saying, coming from where he came from, how many big names do you get from down there to come
I
up? That's what available.
I hear you, but my point,
You
look,
and it wasn't and my thing is, the other fight, who was it? That he hurt his hand on, and this everybody said it wasn't a good
De Los
performance.
Santos. De Los
De Los
Santos.
Santos. He hurt it. He broke his hand, so you have to give him something to that. Like, okay, he had to have surgery on his hand.
What if he breaks his hand against Teofimo Lopez?
He's gonna have to do what everybody else did that did it. What Roy Jones against Bernard Hopkins? What he had to do.
Gary, but do you see how you got to start thinking about this stuff? Because I understand there wasn't as many big names at the bottom, but this guy has a better resume. He has a better resume.
It doesn't mean you're better. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it means you're better. I'm not saying it means you're better. I'm saying I'm giving you factors that I'm considering in why I think this fight is going to be really close, right? Because potentially it depends on who shows up on the night, because that's my worry with Teofimo. He's not consistent. But look,
here's my thing, because I hate that people put that caveat. If his head's right, because then when he loses, his head wasn't right.
No, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's a plus. In my opinion, discipline is a plus for Shakur. What I'm saying is the pluses for Teofimo are size. He's a natural 140 at this point, Gary. He's not 135 moving up for one fight the way Shakur's saying. Shakur's saying he's only going up for this fight and dropping back down to 135.
I heard he might stay up for another fight.
So he's a natural 140, and he's a champ there. He's got a better resume, in my opinion. He seems to be more athletic. He seems to have a lot of boxing skills, and he seems to have more power. And if he shows up on the night, right, because that is a consideration, and that makes that a plus for Shakur for me, because he's been solid and consistent for me his whole career. If the right Teofimo shows up, for me, this is a very, very close fight, Gary, and a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight. That's the way I feel about it. And I actually think it's going to end up being, if I base my prediction or what I think is going to happen on their most recent fight, Shakur stayed in the pocket against Cepeda, and Teofimo was moving forward against Barbosa. So in my opinion, this could turn out just like Muratalla versus Cruz, that close. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
I mean, that's what's going to have to happen in the fight. Teo's going to have to come forward. I've been saying that since the fight was brought up. You know what I mean? That Teo's going to have to move forward. Can Shakur fight in the pocket? Yeah, he showed you he can fight in the pocket. But even before Cepeda, when he fought the other fight, only thing is he didn't let his hands go as much. Against what's his name? What is it? The fight right before
Harut Union. Harut Union.
Yeah, that's his name. That everybody complained about. No, it was before Patty. I'm sorry. It was the fight before Patty. So yeah, that's his name. Yeah, but he was before Patty. And you know, he was in the pocket there. He was there to be hit. He just didn't let his hands go as much because I can't say his name. You can say his name. He didn't let his hands go as much as
I think it's Artem.
Yeah, Artem or something. Yeah. Artem. So he didn't let his hands go that much because Artem didn't let his hands go that much because Artem started getting caught when he did. So he didn't let his hands go, and it became a boring fight. Yeah. So my thing is always you get the best Shakur when you get somebody who's willing to let their hands go. Yeah. You know, somebody who's willing to come forward. He wants you to come forward. He wants you to be the aggressor because he's a natural counterpuncher. Yeah. Him, Tank, even Teo to a degree is a counterpuncher. I mean, he's more of a counterpuncher than he is a stalker. Now he will stalk you if he feels. He can, in my head, because he didn't stalk Jermaine Ortiz that well. He didn't cut the ring off against Jermaine Ortiz. He didn't do a good job of doing it at all. Now, I feel like people who are more flat-footed, he exposes them a lot more because he's athletic. And if you're flat-footed against an athletic fighter with quick feet, it's trouble.
Yeah.
And so I think with guys like that, I even think Josh Taylor's flat-footed. I don't think Josh Taylor has the
come
fastest
on,
feet.
Gary. Stop it, Gary. Josh
He's
Taylor
not that fast.
in his prime,
So
Josh Taylor was a
so you
gangster.
think Josh Taylor in his prime has feet of a Devin Haney, of a Shakur Stevenson? He's good. Don't get me wrong. Not like that. That's another level.
Yeah, no,
I'm not saying he's Pitbull. I hate to keep using Pitbull Cruz. Let me use somebody else. I'm not saying he's.
I think Josh Taylor in his prime probably beats Devin Haney. That's my opinion. I don't know about Shakur. I don't know about Shakur. I don't know about Shakur, but I think
I don't think he beats Devin Haney. I don't think he beats Teo.
I don't know.
I don't think he beats Devin Haney, Teo, or Shakur. I don't think he beats any of those.
I think he beats Haney.
And then so, but here's my thing is that you give Shakur, I think it's levels, and I think I think Shakur is a level above him. I just think that you know he has
a level of
defense. Yeah. I think Shakur has defense equivalent to Mayweather. That's how good his defense is. I think he's one of the greatest defensive fighters ever. Ever. Now, I think
he's not equivalent to Mayweather. He's close.
No, hold on. I'm gonna tell you the difference between Mayweather and Shakur. The difference between Mayweather and Shakur is Mayweather has better offense than Shakur. I think Mayweather probably had a better jab. I think Mayweather just had, because Shakur is young fighting this way. Mayweather was an offensive fighter early in his career. He wasn't. He had good defense, but he was a great offensive fighter, punishing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd never seen that out of Shakur. And so offense also helps your defense. If you can start making people the way pay for things and getting punched in the face a lot, and then you go on the attack like he did Sugar Shane. Remember at the end of Sugar Shane, he was beating the crap out of Sugar Shane. Zab Judah, he started towards the second half of the fight. Zab had to punch him in the nuts. Did you see the mean streak that Floyd had when he picked up DeMarcus Corley? And get back up.
How about when he knocked Victor Ortiz out for headbutting him?
That's the difference. Shakur is not that. Shakur's not that. No, he don't have that. So
I don't think Shakur is Floyd.
No, I'm saying defense. Only defense.
Not even defense. No, not even defense. For me, but I hear you right now. Right now, as we speak, he's probably like the best defensively, or one of the best defensively. Like
I think he's the best right now in the game right now.
Yeah, he might.
I think. I don't. I'm trying to think of who I could think of that maybe has better. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody.
I think he's that guy, but I agree with you offensively. I don't think he's as good as Floyd. And then I don't know, man. I feel like Teo rises to the occasion. I feel like Teo, when he fought Josh Taylor, I was like, is he going to win this fight? And he beat his ass. And then I was like, when he fought Barbosa, I was like, is he going to win this fight? And he beats his ass, dude. And then when he fights Lomachenko, I'm like, is he going to win this fight? And
I had Lomachenko still winning that fight. But
I thought it was close. I'm with you.
It was close. It was very close.
The fact that he made it close at that time when Lomachenko was like a badass still, I was like, damn, dude. Like,
and you also got to look at Lomachenko still was a much smaller guy.
Yeah. But Gary, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy has he's got a talent there that we can't I can't deny. Like, I can't just I want to be right. You know what I mean? I want to be right, and I need to consider everything. And we look at stuff from a different perspective. Oh, you turned sideways on me. Where'd you go?
Yeah, the thing.
Again, I try to look at things from a different perspective, having been a promoter and stuff. And you were there at the shows and you saw me behind the scenes and you saw how these fighters would act and move and how they would weigh in and how that would affect them a bit. You saw some of that. And it's the same thing. That's why I thought it's that experience that allowed me to predict Dalton Smith to win. That's what told me, man, it's a 28-year-old versus a 36-year-old. I got to think about that. This 36-year-old uses his face as a shield. And then with the Muratalla thing, same thing. Man, this is an amateur fighter with 6 pro fights versus a guy with 23 pro fights. It's a different sport. And now I'm thinking about this, and I got to look at all the disadvantages that Shakur is going to have to deal with. Less athletic, not as strong.
But hold on.
Wait a minute. Coming up 5 pounds, and it doesn't sound like a lot, Gary, the 5 pounds. But when you're talking about the 135 and 140 pound weight class, Gary, it's a lot, bro. And in the state of California too, I'm not sure where they're fighting if they do the same thing. But in the state of California, when I was promoting the pro fights, and the kickboxers, they use the same size gloves as the boxers. It's 10 ounce, unless it's below 147. When it was 147 or below, they made them use 8 ounce.
8 ounce.
You know what I mean? So another factor you got to consider is, Gary, what if Shakur is doing well, catching and shooting, hits Teo, who's a naturally bigger guy, and his hand goes. I mean
that could happen in any fight.
That could happen.
But I'm saying if the fight,
but against a bigger, sturdier guy, it can happen even more readily. What I mean?
I mean, if you have, just in my opinion, I'm not a doctor or anything.
Yeah.
Hitting somebody's face, period. And if you have brittle hands, you have brittle hands.
Yeah.
So I don't really think him being bigger or smaller is going to affect it. He has brittle hands. Yeah. That's one thing he also took after Floyd with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he has brittle hands, and it is what it is. And I mean, this is what I would say. Shakur is a smart guy, a very smart guy. He even said, I'm willing to fight Teo at 140. Because Teo is a small 140. He's not a big 140.
That's true.
He said, I'm not just going to go up there and fight all the 140s.
Right.
Because he said Teo's a small 140. And he even said Conor Ben, because that's what they were talking about also. Yeah. He said he's not a big guy. So it was the same logic Bud used to fight Canelo. Because he said the more and more I looked at Canelo, I'm like, he's not really a big 168. He really is more of a 160 fighter or something like that. Not really 168.
Yeah, but really Crawford versus Canelo is different.
No, I understand it. I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying the same logic that they had.
I know what you're saying. But look, Bud Crawford was looking at a guy who's more flat-footed than him, who's less athletic than him.
But I would say that's a more dangerous fight.
Who's not the same level of boxer as him. With Shakur, I feel like the challenge with Teo is harder, in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna disagree, only because we haven't seen too many people go from 147 to fight a 168 and only take one fight in between at 154 and never fight at 160, never fight at 168 and take the absolute best.
I agree. I hear what you're saying. It was incredible. But Crawford versus Canelo, the gap in talent between Crawford and Canelo, I think, is more than the gap in talent between Shakur and Teofimo. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Here's what I'm gonna say. If we're talking about experience, like you did, the experienced fighter in Canelo, who's seen it all, been in there with everybody from Mayweather.
I'm not talking about experience.
Triple G.
I'm not talking about experience.
No. But that counts when you're boxing. Yeah, the knowledge he possesses, the skills he learned, the experiences that he learned in that ring, you cannot discount that.
Okay,
he's a better fighter than Teo. He is a better fighter than Teo, in my opinion.
I hear what you're saying. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, and then we gotta read some of these comments here.
Yeah, because I want to respond to something real quick.
Who would you, if you're a fighter, right? Who do you think would be the easier fight? A guy skill wise, Canelo or Teofimo Lopez? Like, who do you think would be more of a challenge for you? I'm talking pure boxing skills.
I mean,
athleticism, all of it. Like,
who's
more of a problem for you?
Do I think Tio has? This is tough because only reason why I'm gonna say this.
Don't do it.
Only reason why I'm gonna say
don't do it on the podcast.
You ask me a question. You want me to talk or you want to talk for me? Huh? Okay. Then you ask me a question.
I just want everybody in the chat to know.
I'm saying is
this is what I've dealt with since high school. I've been dealing with this guy. I've been dealing with this guy since.
You gonna let me answer the question? You gonna let me answer the question? You gonna let me answer the question?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go.
I'm going to say Canelo's the harder opponent. And I'm gonna say this the reason why.
God, dude.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you use some of the same bullshit you use. Now, I ain't gonna say bullshit. I'm gonna use the same shit you use. You're talking about a guy who
bro. I can't take you anymore right now. I can't deal with you. Okay.
Wait. You're talking about a guy in Canelo.
Can we tag?
Hold on, wait.
Can we tag Mayan? Maybe she can handle you better than I can. Tag Mayan.
Go ahead. You're not gonna let me answer it. I can answer it. You're not.
Go. No, go. I'm sorry.
Okay. So here it is. Here's my thing is Canelo what he lacks in athleticism. Yes, Tio is the more athletic fighter. He's way more athletic than Canelo. But now, as we know, watching boxing, athleticism doesn't mean always you're the tougher fight always. Okay. One, Canelo's more consistent than Tio. You know what Canelo you're getting every time you get in that ring.
Right.
Tio has had up and down performances, up and down bad performances. I can't really say that with Canelo except for against the absolute elite. He fought Crawford. Yes, Crawford is probably going to go down as the top 5 fighter of all time. He fought Mayweather. He's wherever you want to put him. Some people have him number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, he got us. He had to fight those elite fighters. When he fought other people like Amir Khan, who's a very skilled fighter, quick fighter, fast fighter, smaller fighter, and he starts getting Amir Khan's timing. He starts walking him down and he knocks him out. He catches him with a shot, and he does that to people who he has fought that are faster, slicker. Caleb Plant and his very skilled fighter, Caleb Plant, who was outboxing Canelo sometimes. What eventually did he do? He walked him down and he knocked him out.
What about Bivol? What about Bivol?
Now we're talking about something different. Bivol is bigger than him.
Yeah.
Bivol is actually bigger than him. So
you think Bivol won on size or Bivol won on skill?
I think both, because I think he had what Canelo realizes that unlike Jamel or Jamal, is it Jamel or Jamal? Which one is it? Jamel or Jamal?
I don't even remember anymore.
The one he fought, I forget. I always mix their names up. I think it was Jamel. I think it was Jamel or whatever. Again, he felt the power and he immediately realized I can't take that. That's too much for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's too much for me. And I think Bivol was like, yeah, I can take it. Come on, I'll lean against the ropes. Normally, you don't see anybody leaning against the ropes against Canelo. Bivol laid against the ropes because he could take it. He can take the punishment that Canelo was inflicting and then equally dish it back out. And he was bigger, and he was faster, and he was more skilled. He had everything over Canelo in that fight.
Okay, so Canelo's a better boxer than Teofimo Lopez.
I'm going Canelo all time, yeah.
All right.
Clear. I mean, I'm just saying he finds ways to find guys. I forgot the other boxer you liked that was he was undefeated. He was taught a Canelo fight. He dropped him with a body blow.
Smith, one of the Smith brothers?
Yes, Smith. Yeah, there we go. And he just finds ways to get people out of it. He's so good with it.
Callum Smith.
Yeah. But go ahead.
All right. So we got, and by the way, I can't believe you did that to me on the podcast. We've got Miles Sadik in here. He says, I think you guys got Ortiz all messed up. I'm throwing that God in there. I think you guys got Ortiz all messed up. Jermaine has been in big fights, and he understands the assignment at this point in his career. Gary, do you want to respond to this one?
How many of those big fights has he won? and I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. Like I said, he's a good fighter.
Hey, hold on. Let me let you loose on them properly. Go ahead.
No, I'm just. Here's my thing is, I'm not saying the guy is a bad fighter, right?
Yeah.
But you seen when it's time to step up to certain fights, he didn't win them.
Yeah,
and it's showing you. And a lot of times when you see this over and over in fighters' career, it kind of shows you a ceiling that they're going to hit. Where it's when you always hear boxers say it's levels to this. It's levels. And so even though a guy whoop my ass, whoop your ass, and whoop most boxers' asses.
Then why you gotta throw me in there, bro?
So we're not gonna jump him? Come on. But anyway, even though he could do, he's a good fighter, and you can reach a certain level, but then it's another level that you can't get to. And I think that's another level when you're talking about Shakur and you're talking about who else you said is Shakur and Teo. You know what I'm saying? I think they're a higher level than him. I think he's a B fighter. Teo and Shakur are A fighters, but I think Teo is I think Shakur is like even like an A plus, and I think Teo was a lower A, in my opinion.
And
a lower A.
And Keyshawn at the very least is an A minus.
I think Keyshawn beats Teo too.
He might beat Teo. Yeah, he might beat Teo. Yeah.
I think he beats Teo, and I think he punishes Teo, unlike Shakur. I think he hurts Teo sometimes if he fights Teo. I don't think Teo wants no part of Keyshawn if Keyshawn's head's right. Let me throw that caveat in there.
You just did it.
Nah, but he's never shown that it hasn't been right. In the ring.
So I agree with Gary on that one, Miles Sadiq. We appreciate you being in here, by the way. Please subscribe. Join the channel. And here's my man, Jihad the Great, Gary. By the way, Jihad is his name, and that's also my dad's name. So that's pretty dope. Shout out to Jihad the Great. Jihad, Shakur isn't Floyd, he says, and I gotta agree with that. Gary, you were saying
I never said it was Floyd.
Gary, me and Jihad have to disagree with you big time on this one, Gary.
You actually agree with me. I agree. Shakur Stevenson isn't Floyd. I never said he was.
Shut up.
So we all agree. It's nothing to argue about. I just said he defensive wise, he's on Floyd's level.
Your daddy is in here. He says, I had Shakur, but I'm leaning towards Teo now. You see, something happened. Something happened with this Muratalla.
You're poisoning people, George.
Got us all waffling on our picks right now. Jihad the Great says, Canelo and Bud gap is wide. I agree with that.
No, I never said it. I never said the skill between Canelo and Bud isn't wide. You said Teo. Teo ain't Bud.
No. I said the skill between Canelo and Bud is bigger. The gap is bigger.
Yeah, and I never
Shakur.
And I never see. This is the thing. Why listening is fundamental.
Stop manipulating what I'm saying.
Hey, no. What I said. Well, reading is fundamental, but I'm gonna say listening is fundamental. But anyways, listen. Hey, listen. This is why it is. I know the gap between skill and Canelo and Bud is wide. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see the fight for one reason. Because even though Bud is more skilled, he's a bigger man, an experienced man, and he's the best at the big. It was always, can the little guy beat the big guy? Can the very skilled little guy beat the big guy? That's all. I didn't switch. Go back and watch.
Oh, God.
I said that Teo. I said that's a bigger. It's harder for Bud to do what he did than what Shakur, and I still stand by that. Shakur and Teo, because you're going up against an elite fighter at a heavier weight. It doesn't matter if you're more skilled than him all the time.
Yo, Daddy brings up another good point. Shakur doesn't have the pop that Bud has either. That's true.
Yeah, yeah, of course. We all know that part. Yeah. But I mean, Shakur never relied on his pop. He never did.
Jihad says, I agree about Ortiz. Yeah, but I think Daddy is bringing up the pop thing because it's just another reason why you can't really parallel the Crawford Canelo fight versus the Teofimo Shakur fight, because I think there's a lot more disadvantages that Shakur has to deal with.
I disagree.
In other areas besides just size, right? Because he is dealing with a size gap, but it's a small size gap, Gary. It's very small. But
I mean, I disagree on that.
Crawford dealt with a massive size gap, but I think everything else Crawford had.
You talking about with Crawford and okay, I take that back.
Well, Crawford, I feel like Crawford had the advantage, like speed, athleticism, skill, like almost everything, right? Almost everything.
Except
really? Except like durability.
What was your fight prediction? What were did you say this was a 50-50 fight? Now we don't remember.
No, I thought
I remember we were talking about it. You thought it was going to be a close fight, and you said it might be too much for Terrence Crawford. You picked Terrence. You picked Terrence, and you said, I don't know that size, though. It's just too much. It might just be. Now we're downplaying it. See, this is the thing
listen. This is the thing I was also concerned with Crawford being 38 years old. Like that was another major concern of mine. Not everybody ages like that, Gary. Not everybody can age well like that. Like that was a legitimate concern. I'm wrong sometimes. I'm not saying I'm always right? I mean, I could have been wrong. I was right about Matias, but he might have had one more fight in him and stopped Dalton, and I would have been wrong. That's fine. But I just feel like, these guys, once they start hitting mid to late 30s, holy shit, like you're going up to fight Canelo at 38. Like it was, but that doesn't change the fact that I thought Crawford is more skilled. I mean, I thought Crawford is on another level skill-wise, to be honest.
I thought Crawford was more skilled. I mean,
But when I'm looking at Teo and Shakur, I'm not seeing skills from Shakur, in my opinion, that blow Teo out the water the way Crawford's, I think, was superior to Canelo's.
And my thing with Teo is I don't see anything that Teo does that blows Shakur out the way. Like
it doesn't.
This is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it's a more. It's easier for Shakur fighting Teo than it would be Terrence fighting Canelo, because I feel like the advantages that Teo have, we said athleticism, but I don't feel like that's a huge because Shakur has fast hands and fast feet, and he has good footwork.
Yeah.
So if we're giving Teo, slightly. It's not like a huge gap between speed.
Right,
between
but power goes to Teo.
Power is a huge gap.
And boxing skills is not that far apart, Gary.
And I will lean to Shakur.
Yeah, but is it far apart?
No, just like the athleticism isn't far apart. So my thing is, I slightly give the advantage of Shakur on one thing. I slightly give the advantage of Teo on one thing, and then in power, I give. Now we got to get into. Who are you as a person? What kind of boxing character do you have?
You make my point, right? You make my point in that I think it's closer. I think it's closer than the gap between Crawford and Canelo, right?
But no.
Let me explain this better. Let me explain this better.
I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying.
The major issue for me in Canelo Crawford was he's 38 and he's fighting a guy way bigger than him. Right.
But he's not just, see, my thing is, I don't want to just say he's fighting a guy. We can't just say a guy.
No.
All-time great Hall of Famer who's younger, bigger. Because what Canelo lacks in what Canelo lacks in physical talent, as far as like speed and feet and nimbleness and everything like that, he makes up just in knowledge. Like his mind is good. His mind is, to me, his mind is just as great as any other great fighter, but just as great as Terrence Crawford, I would say. Yeah. But his talent level isn't as great as Terrence Crawford. So when you get two people with both great Hall of Fame minds, but one is a little bit more talented, use that talented guy. Yeah. I mean, the talented guy wins. But then when you throw in size, but then when you switch it up and throw in size, when Jake Paul just fought
AJ,
when Jake Paul just fought AJ, and other boxers saying, do you know how skilled you have to be the man that much bigger than you? How much superior skilled you have to be. So that's why people were saying, I know he's more skilled, but how much is that skill gonna
but Gary also they were like the same height. It's not.
Yes, but Canelo's the natural bigger guy.
Gary, it's not Jake Paul versus AJ, bro. AJ's a monster.
I understand that, but it's still 147. If you want to throw in 154, all the way to 168. How much in weight do you think Canelo was over Bud?
I don't know, but let's address this if you don't mind. I want to address Miles because he says, I respect your opinion, but what has Keyshawn done to make you think he's elite or better than Ortiz? In my opinion, I don't know if he's elite, but when I'm looking at him based on the eye test, I think he's very good. I think he's potentially elite. I think he keeps the right company. Based on the eye test and the way he's beaten the guys he's beaten, Dennis Berinchek, Jose Pedraza, and he stopped both of those guys. For me, he passes the eye test. He's got a dog in him. There's no doubt about that. He seems incredibly sturdy. And, Jermaine Ortiz, just like Gary said earlier, he stepped up twice against very good competition, but lost both times. Davis has never lost, doesn't know what it is to lose. And so I don't know if he's elite. He's going to have to do a little bit more for me to say he's elite. But for me, he passes the eye test. He looks like he can be elite if he's all there. And that's my opinion on that. Gary, you have any idea?
I mean, it's kind of we always have these notions in our head that we think this guy's going to be elite. We think this guy's going to be elite. We think, we go. Now, sometimes they pan out and they go down that road and they become elite. I think Keyshawn, and I know I said I hate caveats, but this is the serious one because he's actually been in a mental institution. He's literally been admitted into a mental institution. So that's on another level, before. And
so
that's
Gary, Gary, you require like a diagnosis to give them
not a diagnosis. I'm saying that at any time, like Tyson Fury fell into the cocaine and everything, had those demons and everything. So that can throw a fighter out. If you got demons,
Miami life. He fell into the Miami life.
Or if you got drug problems, alcohol problems, that's a whole different thing because that can throw any fighter off for the path of where they want to go. But for me, I see the power. I see the defense. I see the defense. I seen the chin. I seen him have to bite down and really have to go and get it. I seen him willing to do that. I seen the chin. I seen the power. I seen the defense. I seen the speed. I seen the footwork. He's coming out of camp that you're talking about. Andre Ward, undefeated. Bud Crawford, undefeated. Shakur Stevenson, undefeated. He's undefeated. So you throw him into that mix and going against those guys before. I know he doesn't train with them anymore. He's going with his own camp now. And we'll see how that works. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I'm just saying, you got that kind of work on a daily basis, that kind of tutelage, that kind of knowledge being fed into the athletic and the skill that you have, that you possess. That's a recipe for a great fighter. Now, he may get caught one day. He may fall off the path. He may.
And Miles Sadiq says Ortiz might be the gatekeeper Keyshawn can't get past. It's a possibility. But me, if you're asking me, like I see Keyshawn beating him. I see Keyshawn beating him.
Yeah. I do
Anyway,
too.
Gary, man, we've been on almost an hour and 15 minutes with Knucklehead Nation. We appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to the channel, join the channel, continue to help grow Knucklehead Nation. Any merchandise you buy, I'll just go ahead and reinvest it back into the channel. I'm dropping content almost on the daily. Gary's doing his thing on his Instagram, so check him out at Ignite Behavior. And check him out here with me every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate you guys joining us. Gary, is there anything else you wanted to say or that we left out?
No, I'm good, man. Hey, we had a good. It's been a long time since we got into it about something. Hey, let me tell you something. We don't just get into it about boxing. We get into it about everything.
I know. Yeah. Man. All
Hey,
right.
appreciate you too. What's his name? I can't see.
Miles Sadiq. Miles
Oh,
Sadiq.
Miles Sadiq. Appreciate you too.
Appreciate you, man.
And everybody who
great
tuned
one.
in and comment and everything.
Have a great one, you guys. We appreciate you, and hit us up next Monday, or I'll be dropping videos all week. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you for your time.